Hey, what's happening everyone? This is Aaron from Yu-Gi-Oh! Masters, and today I'm bringing you guys the 10 strongest cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! These guys are all banned for a very good reason. They should probably remain banned for most of their life, except maybe a couple of these guys could come back. But during certain meta shifts, these cards were super insanely strong, and a lot of these cards have been banned for pretty much their entire lifespan, more or less. So in no particular order, first up we have Chaos Emperor Dragon, Envoy of the End. This guy is so goddamn good. He's recently being errated, or has been errated, I'm not too sure about that, but his original effect was, this guy cannot be normal summoned or set. It has to be special summoned by removing a light and a dark from your graveyard, which is a very easy cost to achieve. You then pay 1,000 life points to send every single card from the hands and the field to the graveyard and deal 300 points of damage. That just resets the entire game. You can go from having basically no cards to top decking against your opponent's 5 cards in hand plus 6 cards on the field to just summoning it and destroying everything. It evens the game up. So if you're losing hard, Emperor Dragon just really brings you back. And then the dealing the damage effect can actually just win you the game right there. If it's a big field and a big hand, they could take thousands points of damage, like thousands, and it can just win you the game. Chaos Emperor Dragon was also insane because of a combo you could do, where if you had Sangan or Witch the Black Forest set on the field, and you summoned Chaos Emperor Dragon, everything gets destroyed, and you search Yatagarasu, which is my next card, and Yatagarasu is stupidly good in that situation because you instantly win the game, more or less. This guy cannot be special summoned, and it returns to your hand at the end of the turn. It's a spirit, like Tsukiyomi. When this card deals damage, they skip their next draw phase. So think of Time Seal, which is also a banned card, but in a monster that you can constantly keep doing. So if you Chaos Emperor Dragon your Sangan and get Yatagarasu, they cannot draw ever again. You can keep attacking with Yatagarasu every single turn, and they keep missing their draw phases while you keep drawing additional cards. You more or less win there unless you deck out or it goes to time and you lose on life points or something weird happens. But usually that's just they will insta-scoop at that situation. Yatagarasu is a goddamn good card, but actually with Chaos Emperor Dragon banned, it's not quite as strong. However, I don't want him to ever come back because just having the option to instantly win like that is stupid, and your opponent's missing draw phases is something the Konami does not want to happen. It takes away a lot of skill involved. Next up we have Graceful Charity. Draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards. It's quite a simple effect really, right guys? However, all the cards in the game these days have graveyard effects. Graceful Charity would just be a monster of a card right now. Also, imagine this card in Dark Worlds. It says draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards. That's not a cost. You get your Dark World effects. Graceful Charity is really goddamn good, and I hope that card doesn't come back ever. If anything's going to come back like that, Pot of Greed could come back. Draw 2 cards. More or less the reason why they don't want to bring Pot of Greed back is whoever draws it first gets an instant +1. Such a simple effect, but you draw an additional card. Getting +1s is really good in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because if you have advantage on your opponent, you have more options and you can do better moves, and you can you go through your deck quicker, you get your stronger cards faster. Whoever draws the Pot of Greed first has a huge advantage. That's why they took away the person who won the dice roll turn one player. They don't get to draw on the first turn. It's because whoever won the dice roll or the coin flip and went first had 6 cards to 5 and had that +1 advantage. So they took away that draw, and that's why Pot of Greed's banned as well, because Konami doesn't want easy advantage to be achieved. Next up we have Imperial Order, everyone. This card is so ridiculous. Negate all spell cards on the field, and during each of your standby phases you have to pay 700 or destroy it. Screw that cost, that doesn't even matter that much. Imperial Order just really shuts down people. Yu-Gi-Oh! Players tend to use a lot of spell cards. Imperial Order would just screw over the enemy player. What you do with Imperial Order in your deck is you'd minimize your spell cards, or you'd play it before playing Imperial Order, and then you chain it on your opponent's turn to their spell card, effectively shutting them down. Usually in that situation, it's like having Vanity's Emptiness on the field, where you play it when the situation is right for you. You do the same thing with Imperial Order. Being able to not play spell cards for both players is actually ridiculous. To destroy this card, you usually have to destroy it with spell cards, like Mystical Space Typhoon and, well, when Heavy Swarm was illegal, for example, you know. You can't destroy Imperial Order anymore with Mystical Space Typhoon and Cyclone, because when it's revealed, you can't play spell cards. You have to destroy it with monster effects or traps. So yeah, I'm glad Imperial Order's banned right now. Next up, we have a Delinquent Duo. Delinquent Duo is on my list, and in the honorable mentions, I have Forceful Sentry, and I'd probably put Confiscation there too. Although I don't think Confiscation is quite as good. Delinquent Duo is pay 1,000 life points, and your opponent randomly selects and discards a card from his or her hand, and then selects and discards another card from his or her hand. The thing is, you don't get to see their hand, that's the main thing. But discarding 2 cards from your opponent's hand is an instant +1. it's really, really good because you play that, you've gone from, let's say you have 6 cards, you've gone to 5, they've gone from 6 to 4, you've got one more card than them. And the random thing is they could lose a good card and then they have to like make the tough decision of discarding another. It's a really strong card. Forceful Sentry is just look at your opponent's hand, select one and shuffle it into the deck. It's actually good, and maybe Forceful Sentry might be just as good as Delinquent Duo because in the meta, cards in the graveyard, a lot of things get effects these days, and it's nice to have cards in the graveyard. Whereas a Force of Sentry, shuffling into the deck is a much better, a better thing, and you get to look at the hand. It's like Trap Dust Shoot, so you look at the hand and you can play around. But I just think that that getting rid of 2 cards is just way better than getting rid of 1, even with the revealing their hand. Next up is Fiber Jar, guys. Fiber Jar is insane. Each player shuffles all cards from the hand, field, and graveyard into the deck and draws 5 cards. It reminds me of Chaos Emperor Dragon a bit. It resets the game. You're losing really hard. You set a Fiber Jar. Oh, let's just get back to turn 1. Life points don't change, but everybody's got the same amount of cards again. You both got 5 cards. Konami do not want that. They do not want easy ways to even the game out. So Fiber Jar is going to be banned for pretty much ever, guys. Next up is Change of Heart. Target 1 monster your opponent controls and take control of it until the end phase. That's really good because you can take set monsters and you can flip them and do cool stuff. In a meta where there's XYZs and Synchros, this becomes even more powerful. Change of Heart has always been a really good card. You got to consider, with Snatch Steal and Brain Control both banned right now, Change of Heart isn't coming back before those, that's for sure. Out of those 3, Brain Control would be the one that would come back. And Brain Control is a strong card anyway. I think Brain Control could definitely come back at some point. But yeah, Change of Heart is just such a strong card, and if you have this card, you can usually get out of certain shitty situations and just turn the game around. Next up is Dimension Fusion. I remember when Dimension Fusion was a thing. I don't know when this card got banned exactly, because I only came back into the game a few months ago. Pay 2,000 life points, both players special summon as many of their removed from play monsters as possible. So this card was used in like Diamond Do Turbo, which was a really strong deck, and this card was teched in a lot of decks anyway. It's actually quite easy to banish stuff. Like, imagine Dimension Fusion with Cosmos. Like, imagine that right now. How dumb would that be? You know, if they want to make this stronger, just add a quick play to that, and boom, Dimension Fusion's the thing right now. But yeah, Dimension Fusion's a really good card because usually only one player has all the banished cards, and then this becomes massive advantage for that player. Finally, guys, we have Future Fusion. This guy caused a lot of OTKs. I remember Future Fusion being played with Chimeritek over thingy, Chimeritek something dragon or whatever. Reveal 1 fusion monster in your extra deck and send from your main deck the fusion material monsters to the graveyard. And then during your second standby phase, you special summon that fusion monster. So people would play this. I think it was Chimeritek Overdrive, or I can't remember the bloody name of it. I'm going to type in Chimeritek and we're going to find out the name of that card because it was an OTK deck back in the day. It was this guy, Chimeritek Overdragon. So this guy is must be fusion summoned. And then special. When this card's fusion summoned, send all of the cards you control to the graveyard, and the attacker defense becomes equal to the number of fusion monsters used for it. So, and then each turn this can attack your opponent's monsters a number of times equal to the number of fusion material monsters used to fusion summon it. So you go Future Fusion, and you just do an absolute ton of materials. Then when the Chimeritek Overdragon comes out, it's going to have thousands and thousands and thousands of attack points, and it can attack all the opponent's monsters. And you run things like limiter removal and Megamorph in the deck as well. So this guy's just absolutely insane. That was the OTK back in the day, and they'd run Giant True Nades, and they had Heavy Storm, and they Dark Hole, you know, stuff like that. And it was just a really strong deck. So yeah, Future Fusion I hope doesn't come back anytime soon, because even in this meta, Future Fusion is just absolutely insane. So guys, I have some honourable mentions. Thousand Eyes Restrict is on my honourable mentions because this guy was an absolute nightmare. When the meta was Goat Control with Metamorphosis and Thousand Eyes Restrict, I wanted to just like kill myself. He just sucks up a monster and nobody can attack except him, and it gains the attack and defense of the monster, so it's really dumb. Last Will was a thing. Everybody mained a Last Will in their main deck. They would tech in Last Will, they ran Cyber Dragons and Borgs, and you'd have Cyberstein in your deck, and you obviously had the Spirit Reapers. So if you started off Cyber Dragon, Saborg, Last Will, Storm MST, or if they didn't have a set card, that's 3-card combo, Cyber Dragon, Saborg, Last Will, get Cyberstein, Cyber Twin Dragon, attack for game. It's just that easy. So Last Will was a really easy OTK card, and it's such a good card. There's Forceful Sentry, I've mentioned it before, and Tribe Infecting Virus. This card right now would be really good because pretty much everyone's running a theme type decks. Most of the cards are all the same type. You discard a card and just declare a type, and all the monsters on the field are destroyed. You can do that more than once per turn, by the way, if you needed to. It's not once per turn, and it can just clear out a field. So Tribe Infecting Virus is really good. I doubt it would ever come back, but you never know. So guys, those are the top 10 strongest Yu-Gi-Oh cards in history, in my personal opinion. Damage to the Chaos could be on there, he's really strong. Blatster's Soldier is a very strong card. There's certain cards that are really, really good, but I think these specific 10 are the ones that came to my mind. So I hope you guys enjoyed this list. Let me know in the comments section any other powerful cards. Exodia, any other powerful cards that you think should be on the list or you would like to see on a list. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all again very soon, guys. Goodbye, everyone.